Sup y'all, I be Brickroad, this be Metroid, you know the drill. Today's adventure, the aquatic region of Meridia. First on our tour, you're going to see a missile expansion encased in solid rock. This is the single trickiest item to get in the game. You need to charge a shinespark in an adjacent hallway, hold it through the door, and then rocket upwards at a precise spot on the ground, helpfully marked by a sprig of seaweed. I'm skipping this pack because I'm already swimming in missiles, but I'll pick up the easy pack of supers in the next room. I can't help but wonder if these two packs should have been switched to make the more useful item trickier to get. Just makes more sense to me, I guess. The original Metroid on NES consisted only of Brinstar and Norfair and was entirely built with vertical shafts and horizontal hallways. Super retains much of that design in those two areas. It's a direct sequel after all, but Meridia is a new area and stretches the level design in a lot of novel ways. The main path is a series of large maze-like rooms, and the obvious route is almost never the way forward. The region twists in on and around itself and is littered with one-way passages. A path at one end of Meridia might take you clear to the other end, so tricks that worked in previous areas, for example checking your map to see what rooms are physically linked and interpreting that as a clue as to where hidden passages might be, aren't as reliable here. Careful searching and clever item use are the primary ways to explore Meridia. This is Botwoon, the single most annoying sub-boss in the game. I'd rather fight Spore Spawn and Crocomire than this guy. At this point we're out of neat toys to pick up, so instead of having Botwoon guard one of them, they just drop him right on the path to the main boss. He's only vulnerable in his head, and he dashes randomly around the room at warp speed. If you're not careful, you can easily blow through your entire cache of super missiles and not have any left over for the remainder of the level. I don't have a strategy for Botwoon. I just hit him with a couple of supers early in the fight when he's slow, and then finish him off with a flurry of regular missiles and a few charge shots. There, dead. Okay, so one of the mightiest Super Metroid challenges out there is to get from the Meridia tube to the elevator leading to the wrecked ship before getting the gravity suit. This entails some pretty incredible stunts. For example, there are a few places you've got to fire a super missile at a wall to cause one of those little crab guys to lose his grip, and then freeze him in midair as he's falling to use him as a step. Wall jumping only gains you a pixel or two underwater, so there's one spot where you have to jump into a tiny one-block wide area and use hundreds of wall jumps back and forth to get yourself up onto a platform. It's pretty insane. This is one of the few sequence breaks the developers never saw coming, and entering the wrecked ship from the back door with Bantoon still alive is pretty trippy. Nothing works. Spikes don't damage you, water that should be there isn't, the energy tank doesn't even spawn. This isn't useful at all, just fun as a curiosity. Metroid guys like me go nuts for this kind of thing. We're coming up on Draygon, the boss of Meridia. One of Super Metroid's most well-known secrets is that you can fry Draygon in just a few seconds by letting it grab you and then snaring one of the electrical outlets in its lair with your grappling beam. The fact that they built a gimme into this boss fight leads a lot of players to believe Draygon is incredibly difficult without it. Nothing could be further from the truth. The first thing you do is destroy the cannons on the wall with super missiles so they can't shoot you. It makes life a lot easier. Then it's just a matter of understanding Draygon's attacks. It can only do one of two things: swoop at you or spit gunk at you. The swoop can be avoided simply by rolling into a ball. The gunk can be obliterated with a power bomb. Once you've cleared the gunk, you've got carte blanche to fill Draygon's soft, fleshy tummy with as many concussive blasts as your little heart desires. That's it. That's really it. The fight's so easy it makes you wonder why they needed a built-in gimme at all. One of the flashier ways to kill Draygon is to let the gunk catch you and then start running away. Samus moves a lot slower while gunked, but doesn't take any longer to build a speed booster charge. This means you can kill Draygon with a shinespark. Pull this off and you can witness the extraordinary blue suit glitch. The blue suit is a permanent speed booster charge. As long as you don't press the run button or use a shinespark, Samus will stay in her charged state until you turn the game off. It's pretty easy to hold on to that state too, since killing Draygon gets you the space jump, enabling Samus to fly. The immediate and most obvious benefit to a permanent speed charge is simply walking or jumping into most enemies will kill them. You can walk over quicksand without sinking. Nothing in the game except Ridley's tail and Mother Brain's magic psycho laser can damage you. More interesting though are the side effects of the glitch. Being able to shinespark anywhere you want, even in areas too cramped for a short charge, causes the game to do weird things. One of my favorites is to take the blue suit to Brinstar and time a shinespark so one of those grabby worm guys snaps you out of it. This causes the game to seize up and the cartridge to start smoking. It's pretty awesome. Killing Draygon also causes these metal doors to start flashing, enabling you to travel between the fake section of Meridia accessible by elevator and the real section accessible only by the glass tube. It also opens the door to the plasma beam. This could be possibly construed as the developers getting lazy. They haven't had to resort to hard, arbitrary barriers before now, right? The issue is that it's probably pretty hard, if not impossible, to design a natural obstacle that can only be circumvented with a space jump. Canny players, for example, me, would be able to bypass it with wall jumps or bomb jumps. And I have no idea why I shinesparked right there. It seemed like a good idea at the time. There is that nagging part of me though that wants to know, who cares if I get the plasma beam early? All it's going to do is let me win the Botwoon and Draygon fights more easily, and come on, it's not like they didn't already want Draygon to be a pushover. Even leaving glitches out of the equation, you can skip stuff like the grappling beam, ice beam, and Varia entirely. The game is designed to reward inventive players with shiny toys before they're supposed to have them. Locking the plasma beam up kind of flies in the face of that. The other fancy item hidden in Meridia is the Spring Ball, a neat little toy that lets you jump while in Morph Ball form. This item is way off the beaten path though, and practically useless besides, so it's not worth picking up unless you're doing a 100% run. The most interesting thing about the Spring Ball is that it's the one and only item in the entire game you absolutely need the grappling beam for. The section of Meridia it's hidden in is blocked off with a cracked grapple block. Grab it for a second and it disintegrates, allowing you to space jump up through the gap that's created. There's simply no other way to destroy a cracked grapple block, so the Spring Ball gets the dubious honor of being the only major item Samus cannot obtain if she's already skipped the grappling beam. I mentioned last video that some folks thought the glass tube is unfair because it sidesteps most of the exploration tactics you've been learning and reinforcing up to that point. In actuality, the game gives you a pretty good clue just on the other side of this hella obnoxious quicksand tunnel. It's a submerged room that houses an already destroyed tube. You have to pass through this room if you enter Meridia via the elevator, and observant players should notice the basic structure of the two tubes is identical. Once you get it into your head to shatter the tube, which of Samus's items immediately springs to mind? This is what I meant when I said Meridia is about observing the game world as a world rather than a series of blue and pink boxes. The glass tube is supposed to help prepare the player for the rest of the level, which as you've seen is very much unlike the other areas of the game. Meridia's got lots of other cool stuff we didn't get to see, such as a creature that carves a path for you through solid rock, rooms accessible only by sinking through quicksand, and a ferocious mother turtle protecting her eggs, failed shinespark. It's very much outside the box, and that makes it probably my favorite area in the game. There are two paths that will take you to Lower Norfair. One can go to the right, back through the green bubble room, or you can go to the left, through the ice beam area like I'm doing. The ice beam isn't a necessary pickup, but it makes the final area of the game a lot easier. The only way to kill Metroids without freezing them is to frantically lay power bombs while they suck you dry. So skipping the ice beam means either finding a lot more power bomb pickups, or making several trips between the final level and Samus's gunship to reload. You're meant to come through this area right after you get the speed booster and power bombs, which leads you down through this floor and through a long speed booster hallway, dropping you off at the green door outside of Crocomire. Then you get the grappling beam, etc, etc. I actually regret not killing Crocomire on this run. I mean, it's obvious I'm not doing a speed run anyway, and it's not like he's far out of the way. I should have just dropped in and slaughtered him with one charged Ice Wave plasma shot just for laughs. But I didn't. I'm sorry. Real quick, before heading out, I'm going to teach you how to gravity jump. Stand in deep water or lava somewhere and pause the game. Just before the screen completely fades to black, press and hold jump. On the subscreen, while still holding jump, unequip the gravity suit. When you unpause, Samus will fly upwards until she breaks the surface of the water or lava. If you tap right on the D-pad before pressing jump, Samus will do a vertical spin jump. If you're spinning and you re-equip your gravity suit at the last second, you can gravity jump up to a block on the surface and then wall jump off of it. This isn't the only way through Ridley's lava lake without picking up the space jump, but the only other way is incredibly difficult to time bomb jumps, so it might as well be. Next up, the most epic fight in Super Metroid, don't miss it!